All right, first we have the bony prominences of the elbow. We'll start out with the humerus, coming down to the radius and the ulna. Next, we have the radial fossa right here and the coronoid fossa. Move up, we have the olecranon fossa. And rotate it back in. And we have the lateral epicondyle, the medial epicondyle right here. We have the trochlea and the capitulum there.
Now I'm going to be palpating the biceps brachii. So the origin of the long head is this supraglenoid tubercle, and the origin of the short head is the coracoid process. And the insertion is the radial tuberosity, and it does elbow flexion and forearm supination. Now we're going to be palpating the brachialis. So the origin is the anterior surface of the distal humerus, and the insertion is the ulnar tuberosity, and it does elbow flexion. Yep. Now I'm going to be palpating the brachioradialis. So the origin is the lateral supracondylar ridge of the humerus, and the insertion is the radial styloid process, and the action is elbow flexion. Now we're going to be palpating the triceps brachii. The origin of the long head is the infraglenoid tubercle. The lateral origin is the posterior humerus, and the medial origin is also the posterior humerus. And the insertion is the olecranon process, and it does elbow extension. And now we're going to be palpating the anconeus. The origin is the lateral epicondyle. The insertion is the olecranon process and the upper posterior ulna, and it does extension of the elbow.
Okay, so now we're going to palpate the pronator teres. Its origin is the medial epicondyle and coronoid process. Its insertion is midpoint lateral radius, and it does forearm pronation and assists in elbow flexion. Now we're going to palpate the pronator quadratus. Its origin is the distal 1/4 of the ulna. Its insertion is the distal 1/4 of the radius, and it does forearm pronation, and that's it. Okay, now we're going to palpate the supinator. Its origin is the lateral epicondyle and ulna. Its insertion is the anterior surface of proximal radius, and it does forearm supination. Okay, now we're going to do the manual muscle test for biceps brachii. Don't let me break you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. Okay, now we're going to do manual muscle test for brachialis. Don't let me break you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. Okay, now we're going to do the manual muscle test for brachioradialis. Hold, don't let me break you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. Okay, now we're going to do the manual muscle test for triceps brachii. Hold here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax.
All right, now we have the pronator teres. So bring your arm into pronation at about a 40-degree angle right here. All right, can you hold like here? And I'm trying to break them into supination. So don't let me break you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. All right, I have the pronator quadratus, which is the same thing as pronator teres, but instead of out here, you bring it back to cancel out the pronator teres. Again, you have them here, and don't let me break you. I'm trying to pull them into supination. So don't let me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Supinator muscle, so you get the patient to hold a bowl of soup like so. All right, don't let me spill your soup, and by doing that, I'm trying to push them into pronation. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. All right, now we have the valgus stress test of the elbow. So you get the patient to go at a 0 degree, not hyperextended, 0 degree plane, and you push pressure on the lateral side, like so. Then you do it again at 30 degrees. Now I have the Varus stress test of the elbow. And again, you want them at a 0 degree plane, and you're pushing on the medial side of the elbow. So here, and you want to do it again at 30 degrees. Relax. Alright, so first we have the ulna.
Oh yeah? Do we?
Now I'm going to be palpating the biceps brachii.
Yeah. Hey, Kayla, what you doing? Yeah?
You seen the video?
Now she is.
Dang it. Now we're going to be palpating the triceps brachii.
Yeah.